Valhalla has been designed to be the ultimate driver's car. It derives itself from all the work we've done in the last 5 years in terms of Valkyrie, in terms of Formula One, and really brings a mastery to what we do next. In design, they talk about form follows function. I don't like the phrase. This car is form and function. Every surface is an aero surface, but it's also sculpted, it's also beautiful. The car has a traditional Aston Martin grille, but executed in a very, very modern, technical way with all the aero around it. In fact, it's clasped around an active front splitter, which immediately makes the car different visually to anything that's come before it in the Aston Martin range. There's an incredibly complex series of tunnels and chambers basically through the front end of the car. Something quite unique for an Aston Martin. You have a 20-inch front wheel and a 21-inch rear wheel. This gives the car a sort of a stance that really helps set up the side view. Aero is a vital element of the car, and it really works front to back, so you're having to deal with sort of air off the wheel and air that's coming through and basically control it. And you'll see even there's a vortex generator down the side of the car which is dealing with the disturbance of the rear wheels all the way to the rear. The cabin of the car is very compact, and this is for frontal area aerodynamic reasons. So you've got the snorkel on the top, which has 3 channels in it feeding engine cooling. This leads down onto the top exit exhaust at the back of the car, which is really, the finishing element of that beautiful cabin. Coming to the rear of the car, it is all about aero. You've got these massive Venturi tunnels and then an active rear wing sitting right at the top. Aston Martin scripted in between those 2 elements. You have the lamps, again, derived from a lot of the thinking, the technology that came out of Valkyrie, nestled in each corner. Again, these are designed to be as lightweight, as compact as possible, and that all goes into hitting the weight target of the car and ultimately the performance of the car. When you're in the car, it's a very pure design. The steering wheel, huge amount of work in the steering wheel, working with racing drivers, really section work, what functions do I want, where do I need them, all this logic. And this is logic that you don't normally necessarily find in a road car, but we've dialed in from our experience from F1. The seating position in Valhalla has a very high heel to hip ratio. What does that mean? It means that in a normal car, your heels are much lower than your hip. You're sort of sitting up almost like you're in a chair. In Valhalla, that changed, so your heels are much, much higher. You have a far more reclined driving position, and this is much closer to what you would experience in a Formula One car. This is really about driver centricity, making sure that the driver, steering wheel, pedals are all aligned perfectly. When you're slightly twisted in your position, you may not realize it, but 3-4 laps in of your track day, your body will tell you. When you get apex ergonomics right, it's just perfect. It's our first V8 hybrid mid-engined car, and that's a special thing for the brand. So seeing it on the high street or at a racetrack, but seeing it in the customer's hands, being used as it was intended, that'll be the special moment.
Designing an hypercar is absolutely fundamental that the design and the performance flows together. So it's important that we as an engineer give the right level of emotion to the designer, and the designer as well, the right level of emotion to us. I think every form has to be there for a purpose. From a technology perspective, the driver-focused cockpit, carbon fiber seat onto one piece of carbon fiber monocoque, combined with the technology of super light aluminium for the front subframe, rear subframe, the Valhalla will be the leading edge of the automotive material science. The Valhalla has active rear wing, adjustable in height and adjustable in the angle, reducing the drag through a feature like Formula One DRS. And to maintain this aerodynamic balance, the rear wings works in combination with a front active aero blades in order to basically maintain that aerodynamics all through the different speed. The engine is a V8 twin turbo, flat plane crankshaft, hot V, developing 812 PS, which the combination of the front electronic drive unit with, the Valhalla is going to deliver 1012 PS. It's just an amazing number. We were going to deliver the best power to weight ratio of the super sport and the hypercar range. The 8-speed dual clutch transmission, designed with our intention to be very low in terms of center of gravity and very light. And this allowed basically us to develop the best engaging in terms of agility of the car, because the center of gravity of all the car will be very, very low. Of course, this transmission is a hybrid architecture transmission, e-reverse, which is allow us to stay very light, active electronic differential, allowing us basically to have the best in terms of torque vectoring, so transferring the torque from one side to another in order to manage the understeering, oversteering tendency and to give the best agility to the vehicle. The Aston Martin Valhalla mid-engine is a car like no others. This will be the pinnacle of drive engagement.